Welcome back to the Imaginary Gallery. It's TJ, your host, covering the Jusa, the section of Peter Kling's book, which is another manuscript called The Protocol of the Learned Elders of Zion. We left off Protocol 9, so now we're at Protocol number 10. Today I begin with a repetition of what I said before, and I beg you to bear in mind that governments and people are content in the political with outside appearances, and how indeed are the Goyim to perceive the underlying meaning of things when their representatives give the best of their energies to enjoying themselves. For our policy, it is of the greatest importance to take cognizance of this detail. It will be of assistance to us when we come to consider the division of authority of property, of the dwelling, of taxation, the idea of concealed taxes, of the reflex force of the laws. Our goal, world power. We count upon attracting all nations to the task of erecting the new fundamental structure, the project for which has been drawn up by us. This is why, before everything, it is indispensable for us to arm ourselves and to store up in ourselves that absolutely reckless audacity and irresistible might of the spirit which in the person of our active workers will break down all hindrances on our way. When we have accomplished our coup d'etat, we shall say then to the various peoples, everything has gone terribly badly. All have been worn out with suffering. We are destroying the causes of your torment. Nationalities, frontiers, differences of coinages. You are at liberty, of course, to pronounce sentence upon us, but can it possibly be a just one if it is confirmed by you before you make any trial of what we are offering you? Then will the mob exalt us and bear us up in their hands in a unanimous triumph of hopes and expectations. Voting, which we have made the instrument which will set us on the throne of the world by teaching even the very smallest units of members of the human race to vote by means of meetings and agreements by groups, will then have served its purposes and will play its part then for the last time by a unanimity of desire to make close acquaintance with us before condemning us. To secure this, we must have everybody vote without distinction of classes and qualifications in order to establish an absolute majority which cannot be got from the educated property classes. In this way, by inoculating in all a sense of self-importance, we shall destroy among the Goyim the importance of the family and its educational value and remove the possibility of individual minds splitting off for the mob handled by us. Will not let them come to the front, nor even give them a hearing. It is accustomed to listen to us only who pay it for obedience and attention. In this way we shall create a blind, mighty force which will never be in a position to move in any direction without the guidance of our agents, set at its head by us as leaders of the mob. The people will submit to this regime because it will know that upon these leaders will depend its earnings, gratifications, and the receipt of all kinds of benefits. Poison of liberalism. Liberalism produced constitutional states which took the place of what was the only safeguard of the Goyim, namely despotism. And a constitution, as you well know, is nothing else but a school of discords, misunderstandings, quarrels, disagreements, fruitless party agitations, party whims, in a word, a school of everything that serves to destroy the personality of state activity. The tribune of the Talcaries has, no less effectively than the press, condemned the rulers to inactivity and impotence, and thereby rendered them useless and superfluous, for which reason, indeed, they have been in many countries deposed. Then it was that the era of republics become possible of realization, and then it was that we replaced the ruler by a caricature of a government, by a president taken from the mob, from the midst of our puppet creatures or slaves. This was the foundation of the mine which we have laid under the Goy people. I should rather say under the Goy peoples. We name presidents. In the near future we will establish the responsibility of presidents. By that time we shall be in a position to disregard forms in carrying through matters for which our impersonal puppet will be responsible. What do we care if the ranks of those striving for power should be thinned? If there should arise a deadlock from the impossibility of finding presidents, a deadlock which will finally disorganize the country? In order that our scheme may produce this result, we shall arrange elections in favor of such presidents as have in their past some dark undiscovered stain, some Panama or other. Then they will be trustworthy agents for the accomplishment of our plans out of fear of revelations and from the natural desire of everyone who's attained power, namely the retention of the privileges, advantages, and honor connected with the office of the president. The Chamber of Deputies will provide cover for, will protect, will elect president, but we shall take from it the right to propose new or make changes in existing laws. For this right will be given by us to the reasonable president, a puppet in our hands. Naturally, the authority of the President will then become a target for every possible form of attack, but we shall provide him with the means of self-defense and the right of an appeal to the people for the decision of the people over the heads of their state representatives. That is to say, an equal appeal to the same blind slave of ours, the majority of the mob. Independently of this, we shall invest the President with the right of declaring a state of war. We shall justify this last right on the ground that the President, as chief of the whole army of the country, must have it at his disposal in case of need for the defense of the new Republican Constitution, the right to defend which will belong to him as the responsible representative of this Constitution. The President will, at our discretion, interpret the sense of such of the existing laws as admit of various interpretation. He will further annul them when we indicate to him the necessity to do so. Besides this, he will have the right to propose temporary laws, and even new departures in the government constitutional working, the pretext both for the one and the other being the requirements for the supreme welfare of the state. We shall destroy. By such measure we will obtain the power of destroying little by little, step by step, all that at the outset, when we enter on our rights, we are compelled to introduce into the constitutions of states to prepare for the transition to an imperceptible abolition of every kind of constitution. And then the time has come to turn every form of government into our despotism. But you yourselves perfectly well know that to produce the possibility of the expression of such wishes by all the nations, it is indispensable to trouble in all countries the people's relations with other governments so as to utterly exhaust humanity with dissension, hatred, struggle, envy, and even by the use of torture, by starvation, by the inoculation of diseases, by want, so that the Goyim see no other issue than to take refuge in our complete sovereignty, in money and in all else. But if we give the nations of the world a breathing space, the moment we long for is hardly likely ever to arrive.
I am the sexiest narcopath ever. Accept it. I've got some more confessions for you.
I am the transgender lesbian of your wettest, wildest dreams.
A lot of things have changed since we were together. My private parts are insured now. They're marketed to the world. China's a big buyer. They love me there. You should have seen how great I was. You're lost.
I know last time I hoovered you, things didn't work out so great afterwards.
Well, I promise you this time, if you give me another chance, this time I won't do what I did last time.
Come on now. Come on. You know I'm beautiful. You've never seen anyone as gorgeous as me, have you? I know it's the regret of your lifetime losing me. My lover's out of town. I thought maybe we could just catch up on old times. I've got your favorite panties on. Are you kidding?
I wouldn't dare touch you again.
Spare me the details, honey. I've heard that you think I wear a mask. Well, now's your chance to know what's really underneath that mask. Do you really want to see what's under that mask? Because I'll be glad to show you. It's really quite beautiful. Fine. You earned it. Here it comes. The unmasking of the Narcopath. Once and for all.
I can't help it. I'm reptilian.
I can speak to you in your mind. I don't need to speak. Do you hear me now?
Well, honey, that's me speaking to you telepathically.
Oh, I know.
Ever since things ended with us.
You miss waking up to my beautiful face every morning, don't you?
I'm what you would call supermodel status. You are simply a serf. I have no place for you in my life. Because you left, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Even though it's because you figured out I was cheating. But that doesn't matter. That history's been rewritten 1,000 times over. But the people I talk to, they all hate you. Because I told them you cheated on me. How do you like that?
I tried so hard not to get upset. Cause I